Hey, what's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out.
Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood. And are you looking for the perfect drink? Well, you found it. Mimosa Royale is the perfect combination of California's sparkling white wine and natural juice that is both tasty and refreshing. No artificial colors or flavors, no sugar added, and it's gluten-free. As the world's first ready-to-drink mimosa, Mimosa Royale is perfect for any occasion, day or night. You no longer have to drink 12 of those seltzers just to get that perfect buzz. At 8% alcohol, Mimosa Royale is the perfect drink to party with. Offered in a variety of flavors and sizes, you are bound to find a Mimosa Royale that you'll love. We have berry, mango, apple, and orange, with more flavors to come. Mimosa Royale is the most award-winning flavored wine that serves in bottles or cans. You can find them online at drinkmimosa.com or find them at your local liquor store. Ask for it by name. Mimosa Royale. What's going on, everybody? It's your main man 360 the Poet from the Morning Wood, and I'm here to talk to you about the Sci-Fi Center. It's your Vegas home for science fiction, horror, and fantasy. From comic books, toys, and posters to movie screenings and live events, they've got you covered. Located at 900 Cameron Avenue, Suite B209, give them a call, 702-900-4335, or reach them at thescificenter.com.
Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Bankhead bouncing into what's up to some of y'all. Y'all remember the Bankhead bounce, but we ain't bankheading right now. It's the hottest place that you can find any type of topics, conversation, music, anything going on in the world of pop and things of that nature. You on hot7025fm.com, and it's hump day, baby. It's Wednesday. So that means you know it's time to holla at the homie. And I am the homie 360, the poet. That's THAPOET. Make sure you spell it right because it means something. That's tenacity, heart, and attitude presents opportunities every time. So that's what we're doing out here. You're at the number one spot for advice, online or in person. I always like to make sure. What's up, Kim Wilson Clark? I need to DM you because I got a letter from your way. Yeah, I was just about to say that I did get the letter unto strangers. But one thing about it is I can't hardly read it because the type of writing ink it is. So I think I'm going to just take some photocopies of it, and maybe I'll be able to see it a little bit darker. What's going on, Matt Seward? You like that hat collection, man? Oh, man, hey, man, you know how it is, but they're all around the room. I wish I could take y'all on the tour of the cave, but I can't do all that because there's more shit going on than what you see in the background right there. But we right here at the hottest spot. I always have to give my disclaimer. Always like to give my disclaimers, right? So I'll let y'all know I have not been trained in any way, shape, form, or fashion, any professional way of any type of counseling, marriage or personal, any type of psychology or psychiatry. But what I am is a self-proclaimed life coach. And the reason I say self-proclaimed is because my life has been colorful. And not just the colors that you see back here on my hats. What's up, Dakari Kofi? Not just those that you see back here on my hats. I'm talking about colorful as far as my experiences, the places I've been, the things I've seen, and the activities I've taken part in. And if not, I've been close enough to some other people where I can soak up the game from them, squeeze it back out here on y'all as we doing our thing on Holla at the Homie. So you know what it is. It's the place where you send in your letters to hollaatthehomie@gmail.com. You know, I got my paperwork over here, got my notes. I've broken down the letter today. We got one coming from somebody by the name of Caught in the Crossfire. So we're going to discuss what they talking about, and we're going to break it down and get into it. Y'all ready? Say, yeah. You know what I'm saying? You got to call and respond. Some of my people that's been to a black church sometime in your life, you already know that that's what happens when you got a little call and response. Talk to your neighbor and tell your neighbor you ready. We ready. What'd you say, Kim Wilson Clark? Sorry about the ink. That's for the constructive honesty. I'm like Erica Badu's sensitive about my shit. I feel, the thing about it is, don't blame the ink. Blame my eyes, Kim. Blame my eyes because they not what they used to be. Even with these glasses on, you got to blame my eyes, not the ink. You dig? So we're going to do a little call and response. We're going to pull up this letter, and it goes a little something like this. Dear Holla at the Homie, I'm in a bit of a pickle, and I need your guidance. One of my friends recently hit me with some very juicy information about the true identity of someone we both know. The catch? They made me swear not to tell anyone. Now, I'm not the type to run my mouth. Maybe that's the reason why they chose me as their confidant. But something about this situation feels off. Now, here's the thing. I can't shake the feeling that they told me this for a reason behind just wanting to vent or to share with me. Maybe they're testing me, trying to see if I'll spill the tea to others, or maybe they're angling for me to confront the person in question. Either way, I'm stuck. Do I keep this secret locked away like Fort Knox, even though I'm dying to figure out what their real motive behind them asking me is? Or do I play their game, let the beans spill, and see what shakes out? I'm worried that no matter what I do, I'm walking into a trap. How do I handle this without compromising my reputation or my sanity? Help me out, homies. Sincerely, Caught in the Crossfire. What up, Pick This 702? What's happening with you? Good to see everybody. I always like to see when people check in. When y'all see me leaning forward, that's because I'm hitting my wave on my other computer, on my phone over here. So you know what it is. But listening to this letter, go with your gut feeling. Okay, Kim Wilson Clark says, go with your gut feeling. Caught in the Crossfire. So that's one of the homies out here helping you out. You can ask for the help from all the homies. Because like I say, I got my online colleagues, and y'all like to help a brother out quite often. Because y'all give me a different perspective on how to look at things. You know what I mean? Because, I got my take on it. I got from the experiences I've lived through on it and stuff like that. So with that instance, I'm more like, got my own way. Say you waving back, that's what's happening. But so now we're going to dive straight into it, and we're going to attack a couple of the things, right? So dealing with a situation like this, Mr. or Miss Caught in the Crossfire, like you say, some people say go with your gut feeling, but caught in a situation like this, it's tricky, y'all. It's tricky as hell. You feel me? And what I mean by that is, what gives them the feeling to be like, it lets you know that it's a reason why you should be, it's a reason why you should be feeling fishy. You should feel like something fishy is going on here, right? What'd you say? You never know the intentions of the others. It's a test. It could be. And Dakari Kofi says, hey, keep your mouth shut. Knowledge and information is power. That's another thing. You may be able to utilize it later. What'd you say? Measure the source. Pick This 702 said, measure the source. So that means, and if those of y'all don't know what that means, think about who it was that told you. Put a measure up to that person. What do they measure up to as a man, woman, child, individual, whatever the case may be? What do they measure up to? That's what you say. Measure the source. You know what I'm saying? The content. Measure this content. What is it that they're telling you? Now, what it says is they got a secret identity. The true identity is what you said. You said, you're in a bit of a pickle. Somebody hit you with some information about the true identity of someone y'all both know. So now, when someone hits you with the don't tell somebody disclaimer, somebody always like, no, don't you tell nobody now, especially about something this sensitive or something that it immediately puts you in that no-win situation. Would you say, Kim Wilson Clark, good point, measure the source? Exactly. You got to measure where it's coming from. Evaluate where you get your information. You understand? That's one of the main things. Like, people got to realize when somebody tell you something, who is it that's telling you? What are they telling you? What, you know what I mean? Think about how they move, how they operate. So think about the source in which you getting this from. Like, if you're getting some water out of a well, if you got to look around, does it smell like eggs? Maybe some sulfur in that water. You know what I mean? But if it look clean, look crispy, and the source is notoriously known for giving good water, then take that water in. Take it at face value, right? But it's put you in a no-win situation when somebody tells you, don't tell anybody. You know what I mean? Somebody always saying, let me tell you something, but don't tell nobody. You didn't ask for this information. They came to you with it. So it's not like you pulled it out of, hey, man, let me know the scoop. I know you know what's what. Now, you wasn't being nosy. Somebody just hit you with the information. Now, you said in your letter, I'm not the one to run my mouth and tell people's business. But you say you're not the type, but maybe that's the reason why they chose you as their confidant. What'd you say, McFadden Amber? Are they spreading information to be malicious? That's another question. That's another way you can measure your source. A good way to measure the source is, are they doing this to try to cause some chaos? Is it malicious in which the way they telling you? Now, if they telling you in confidence, like, look, I don't know how to take this. I got this information. It's bothering me, and I don't know what it's going to do to you. But I need to tell you, this person is not who they say they are. They got a good, you know what I mean? That this person here is somebody who is, not being truthful to us as a crew. Because when you got people in your crew and you've taken them in, you got to know how they move. You got to know how your crew is moving to know whose part to play in your life? Who plays what part in your life? You know, all of my crew are not speakers like me. They may use me as the spokesperson. All of my crew is not, hustlers and like my homeboy Al. So we use him to, to pull the hustles, not like bad ones, but, thinking hustles, thinking through stuff. You know what I mean? Some of us ain't, computer savvy like Jason and Jeremy. So when it comes to something on the computer, we're going to hit him, Jason, Jeremy, Donovan, one of the ones who know the lane. So the people that are around you, you got to see who they are. Like, so you got to know who they are. So if this person is telling you that the person in your crew is not who they say they are, now, is this maliciously they telling you that? Are they jealous of that person? Or are they telling you so you can be aware and you can pay heed and find out what's going on with this person too? Because this is a lot. Would you say, what are you? You ain't nothing, you little black. You the shit talker is what you are, Kenny. No, I'm just that's what you are. That's what we want to know we come to you as. If we need somebody to talk some ish, then we're going to come to you, Kenny. Now, everybody play a significant role in different people parts of crews, right? So maybe you the one that got the secret identity. Maybe somebody from our crew wrote in about you. But we don't know. We don't know. Nevertheless, I never tell who people are, just like I never tell you what to do. I just tell you opportunities of what can be done, right? So, like, going back to what I was saying as far as, like, you got to know who's around you. Know your people. Know your circle. Would you say, Kim Wilson Clark? I would actually talk to God about it. I would definitely pray about it and ask God to steer me in the right direction and prepare me for what is to come after the intentions and this new information that's on your conscience. That's always should always be a lot of people's, if not everybody's, first call, But then after you get that, how is God going to speak back to you? What are he going to tell you to do about it? Is he going to tell you to hold it in? Is God going to tell you to let it be known? Speak, therefore the information is out? We don't know. That's what the prayers is for. That's what we listen and get our answers from, right? So that's a good point. That's a good point, Kim Wilson Clark. You know what I mean? So is this a malicious act that this person is talking about? Let's go back to McFadden Amber's answer. Are they telling you this information to be malicious? And if not, if they're telling you to, to be cautious, then you got to evaluate it a different way, right? Like, you didn't ask for this information, so, but at the same time, you got to ask yourself am I being set up? Is this a genuine moment of trust? Ask yourself these questions like, or is it a play to get me involved in a situation that they may think I may handle better? People may think I may handle the situation better. So maybe that's the reason why they decided to get me involved. I don't know. This person doesn't know either. These are the things you got to look at and ask yourself, are these the reasons why the person asked me to or gave me this information? So it's like you didn't ask for this bag, but now you carrying it and it's heavy. It's weighing heavy on you. So now what is your workout? How do you work it out to where you yourself can get either out of this situation, get through the situation, or whatever the case may be, right? So I wrote down a couple things. Like, first question I would ask is, why did they tell me? That's what we were asking before. Like, it was maliciously, but then again, why did they choose me? Why did they choose you, Mr. or I'm gonna say Mr. or Miss, because it say caught in the crossfire. It doesn't give gender specifics on this, right? Caught in the crossfire. Why did they choose you to tell? That's the first question you should ask. And what was the motivation behind the reveal of this information? Because apparently y'all got a whole crew. And they chose you as the informing member of the crew to be the person that they let this weight off their chest on. Like, did they feel like you were strong enough to handle it? Did they feel as if, like, now that you have it, then you'll know what to do with it? There's a lot of questions to ask, and why did they give this information to you, right? So with that being said, like, you got a couple of options here how you can handle this, right? Option number one is, they genuinely trust you and they needed someone to talk to. And if that's the case, it's flattering, but it's also a lot of responsibility. Just because they trust you and they need somebody to talk to. Yeah, again, like, oh man, thanks. I'm glad you trusted me enough to chop it up with me and to talk to me. But that's a lot of responsibility. Like I said before, that bag is heavy. Right? So maybe option number two, maybe they're not just confiding in you. Maybe option number two is they testing you. And they want to see maybe this person put them up to a test, or maybe they just testing you themselves to see how you move, to see if you're going to be out there and say, and you as solid as you say you are. Because people can say they solid, but when it come time to be solid, they'll crumble on you. They'll fold like hot laundry on you. You don't know where they went. That's why we call them transformers, because one minute they set it up, Optimus Prime. Next minute, they Bumblebee. They out. They gone. A little yellow bug. They out this bit. You know, so you got to see how maybe they seeing how you move in a situation like this. That's a real question. They asking themselves, like, they putting enough trust in you to say, like, I don't think that he or she will move like that. So let me test them. You know, if it happens more often than you think, especially, if they've been burned by people like that in the past. You know, if people have been burned by people who spilled the beans and told their business in the past, they're going to find a way to find out if their new crew is moving like that. So maybe that was the other option that they chose, that they're choosing, that they can be moving in, right? They could be moving in that regard, right? The fact that, either they saying like they trust you or they testing you, or maybe they want you to be the one to take action. Because if you're the vocal one in the crew, if you're the one in the crew who does the speaking, i.e. me, maybe somebody would, if it was me they came to, maybe they came to me because they know I would say something. I see something, say something to the people I rock with, the people I care about, right? But in that regard, like, why you though? Why not them? If they felt good enough to tell you, why can't they tell the rest of the crew? Why they want? It feels almost as if they're using you with their little game of like, oh, if I tell the homie gonna tell the crew. Yeah, maybe not. How you gonna use this information that they've given you? That's a real question. And these are questions you got to ask yourself before you decipher why you are in this whole situation to begin with. Like going back to the letter, it says, here's the thing. I can't shake the feeling that they told me this for a reason beyond wanting to just vent or to share. What's up, Sadiq? Inch Mob in the building. You said that you feel like they told you this more than just wanting to vent or to share with you. What does that mean to you, though? Like, if you said it was just more than that, then you already know within your heart of hearts. What'd you say, McFadden Amber? You say, if you don't normally spread business, then don't do it now. I've been in a situation similar, and I ended up looking at the messenger sideways. Yes. Yeah, because that's the thing. People don't get mad at the message. They get mad at the messenger. Your other friends may be like, oh, you a rat. Why you tell us? You know what I'm saying? They may be like, why you a rat? You a rat. Why you tell us? We don't rock like that. If that's that man business. What's going on with Free Shades? I said with Free Shades. I say with fresh eyes. Boy, I'm telling you, these ain't fresh eyes. With fresh eyes, what's going on with you? Man, I'm telling you, but he's glad. Getting older, man. Getting older. I'm about a month away from 48. Boy, that's damn near 50. But you know what I'm saying? And he these 50, damn near 50 years, you got to understand and learn with things like this. Like, why did they choose you to play this little game with them? Maybe you don't need to be the one delivering the message, because people may look at you funny and sideways after you get to telling them about somebody else's business. So now you got a Libra you dealing with. You like, damn, man, I'm stuck in the middle of you. Do I tell? Do I keep it to myself? And then if I keep it to myself, they're going to be like, well, you knew this whole time and you ain't tell us? Then people going to look at you sideways that way. So again, I'm never telling you what to do. I'm just giving you options of what can be done. And after you look at the different reasons of why you were the person that was informed, then you could possibly move forward and decipher what are your options on what to do, right? You got option number one, lock it down. Don't tell the info. Don't spill the beans, spill the tea, any of that, right? But with that comes, again, with great reward comes great responsibility, right? With great power comes great responsibility. The Kari Kofi already said knowledge and information is power, but with that power, you got a big responsibility on what to do with it. You dig? So like now you looking at yourself sideways because you said in your letter, you're not the one to normally spill the beans. You're not the type to spill the beans. So why now are you contemplating it, first of all? Why are you contemplating it now when you never were the one to do it before. So it's something really eating at you. The secret, the fact that it's a different identity with somebody who you've been rocking with, it may have gut punched you. You may feel like, damn, I didn't even want to know that. And now you may be looking at the person who told you, the source, quote unquote, but not really the source, the source of this information. Now you looking at them sideways because you didn't want to know that, right? Now, if you keep this secrets, it's one way. You lock it down, you keep it, no questions asked. Don't tell a soul if you decide to do that. You can't tell nobody even that you knew about it if they find out that, if they find out the truth behind it, because you've decided to hold on to that secret. This is the safest move for your reputation, because in your letter, you said that's what you were worried about. You said, how do I handle this without compromising my reputation or my sanity? You asked me how you keep your rep together, right? There it is. Loose lips sink ships. Lock it up. Don't say nothing. Don't say a word, man. Don't say nothing to the people. Keep all the information to yourself, you understand? Don't say nothing to the people. But with that, you have to be a real lockdown, because what it means is, on your plus side, it shows that you're a trustworthy person. And most importantly, that you're not about that messy life. Now, if this is something, this identity is going to, hinder somebody from being around anymore, unalive somebody or something. Now you got a different, it's a different weight on the shoulder. Like, what I'm saying? This person is a petty or something, and now everybody got kids around, and that's something different. If they change their identity because they don't want nobody they know they on that list, that's something different. You know what I mean? That's some, you got to weigh that accordingly to your own conscience, right? But if this is just some information that you can hold on to, and it's not going to make or break anybody's lifestyle, anybody's life per se, then if you're going to hold it down, lock it down, it shows you trustworthy and you're not about that messy life, right? But to be real, it's the most frustrating option that you could possibly take. This is the most frustrating option that you could possibly take. And why do I say that? Oh, I'm tripping. I had my whole little paper in front of the screen. And why would I say that? Why would I say that this is the most frustrating option that you could possibly take, right? And what I mean by that is, you're stuck holding on to some information with no outlet. You don't have anybody to give this information to. Not a soul. You can't give it to anybody. And now what do you do with that? Now you sitting there, it's like holding on to a burp, because the people that you're around you hate burps, or because like it's rude in the setting, but it's gas and it's stuck inside of you, right? Now you holding on to this, you stuck holding on to this information. So now it's weighing you down because it's heavy. But if you choose that option, then you got to know that that's what you're getting into. If you go this route, I recommend having a follow-up conversation with the person, with your friend. Something like, hey, I've been thinking about what you told me, and I need to understand what you felt. Like, I need to know what this is. Was there something that you wanted to do with this information? Like, holla at me, player. Holla at a player. You know what I mean? Like, holla at me, homie. Ask your friend that told you this information, like, what was your purpose? Like, if you're going to lock it down and you're going to decide to hold on to it, ask them, what was your purpose, man? Was you trying to get me to get this out to the people, or was this some, let me know, because I still got it. I haven't let out any of the information. I haven't let out even a spritzer burp of this gas that I'm holding on to. But what do you want me to do? What was your purpose of giving this to me? You know what I mean? Like, somebody come give you a pistol, like, hey, man, here you go, bro, I'm gifting you. Now, is it a body on this thing? Is it a robbery associated with this, or is it stolen? I need to know all these options. What was your purpose? Did you think me having this will help me protect you, help me protect me? What is the purpose of you giving me this quote unquote smoking gun of information? Why you give it to me? And what fingerprints do I need to write my fingerprints up off this thing, or what? Why you get this to me? So if you're going to choose option number one, locking it down, not telling a soul, you got to hold on to that thing. You got to hold it like a fart in the elevator. Because anybody who farted in the elevator, everybody know who it was. Everybody know who it was. Because you don't smell it yet before they smell it. So when they smell it, they already making the faces. And if you ain't making the faces yet, you don't think nobody's smelling it, so they know it's your butt. Little stinky booty. You know what I mean? So you holding on to this. But you need to find out what was their purpose of them giving you this information. Are you supposed to be holding on to it? Are you supposed to let it go? This gives them a chance to clarify their intentions without having you to break a promise that you've given. Because you got to remember in the beginning, the catch is they made you swear not to tell anybody. Your word said made you swear not to tell anyone. And then you went straight into, now I'm not the type to run my mouth. That sound like, what's old girl name on Living Color? I ain't the one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. You in that situation now. I ain't the one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me, right? So with that, you got to hold on to that information. Now, that's option one. Now, option number two, you got to go into something like, you got to confront the source. You got to take matters into your own hands and go directly to the person whose information or identity is in question. If you're not going to hold on to it, you got to go confront the source. Be like, hey, man, so I heard your name really not Rick James. I heard your name is OG Bobby Johnson. I need to know, like, why you do that. It might feel tempting, especially if you curious. Y'all said curious. I said I was from Memphis. And just because you're curious, it may feel like the situation demands answers, like demands. And everybody talk about, I demand answers. For what? Mrs. Contreras, what's up? Good to see you on, girl. For what? You can't demand anything of anybody, but let me warn you, this side of things is risky. It's risky to just confront the person. If they've been holding this secret all this time and they ain't told anybody else in the crew that they really are who they really are, not who they say they are, it's a risky situation. If the person who told you finds out you spilled the beans to that person, and it may blow up in your face, or the person that you asking this question, they may know the only other person that knew was the person that informed you. Like, that way it'll blow up in your face. So if this is the option you taking, you should have already had that conversation with the person who gave you the information before you take any option. Option one, by holding it in. Option two, confronting the source. You have to have that second follow-up conversation with the person who gave you this information. You got to talk to the one who laid it in your lap, dog. You can't just sit back and be like, okay, cool, you gave me this. Where did this come from again? No, you gotta go back. Hey, player. All right, so you said this, and this. You said his name is such and such. You said her name is not blankety blank. So what is it again? And how you know? Find out why they put that in your lap. Like, and then what am I supposed to do with this? What did you expect me to do with this? Once you know all those things, then you can figure out whether you're going to hold on to it, whether or not you're going to go confront the source, because sometimes the information not even be true. And then now you done confronted the source about it, and it turned into an even uglier mess. And they get ugly. When lies are being spread about somebody, like real, true lies, like these are truly lies that are being spread, if that's the case. If somebody's truly spreading lies about somebody else and now it's in your hands, so now they automatically in their mind, their perception is everybody on the game of telephone, they telling their business this way, and it's a lie. So now it's a big mess. Ooh, everybody. It's Big Trouble in Little China. And Little China. Big Trouble in Little China. And things can be exaggerated in a way that the person who gave you the information received it. If they got it through a source of telephone and not from the person with whom you about to confront, if they got it from somebody else, then they may not even have all the right facts, all the actual factuals. They may not even have all of that, right? So then what? Then what? How do you go about it then? And you came at this person, now you caught in the middle of an even bigger mess because you came in fully cocked and loaded on some half-cocked information. That wasn't even like all the information you needed to know how to get this out to the world. Now you're in a jam because you decided to confront the source without having this backup conversation, without, again, evaluating the value of the source that told you. We had people talk about it before, like check the source, measure the source in which you got this information from. Like, Where do they stand in the world of truth and lies? Where do they stand in the world of jealousy and confidence? Where is their position in regards to them telling this to you? Why are they telling this to you? What do they expect you to do with this information? These are the things we talked about, right? That's if you decide to take option 2. You got to find out why. You've already had that second conversation, like, what do you want me to do with this, right? But now you got to look at them like, okay, I'm about to go tell this person what you told me. I'm about to ask them about it. Exactly and that's the next question. Like, I was just about to ask that, McFadden. Like, my thing is, how you find out? McFadden Amber said, how they find out? Like, was you snooping? Did they confide in you? Like, how did you? That's what I need to know in this backup conversation. When I talk to you again, how did you find this information out to have it and be privy to it to tell me, to lay this in my lap? How'd that happen, Sway? Or then, like, so if you decided to either keep the information to yourself, lock it in, boom, that's one option. Option number 2, confront the source. But then you got to pay attention to how you move, making sure your information that you have is accurate before you go to somebody with something about their life that may be completely false. Then next, you got another option. You can spill the beans strategically. What do you mean, 360? By spill strategically. Glad you asked. Let's say you decide to share the info with somebody else, right? Maybe you trying to protect the person in question, or maybe you need a second opinion on how to handle this. So this is why you telling somebody else, right? What's up, Twin J2? Good to see you as always. Maybe the person that you need a second opinion and what route to go. You need selective about who you tell, and not only selective about who you tell, but be selective about why you tell them. Because, now they looking at you sideways, like, you sitting on this info, like, why you, they going to ask you why you telling them. So if you're trying to spill the beans strategically, you're going to ask yourself, does this person that I'm about to tell a little bit of this information to absolutely have to know? Do they have to know? They must be part of the crew. They got to be a part of the crew that's in question, that would actually question the person that's separate identity, right? So now you got to ask yourself, does this person absolutely need, not do they want to know, do they need to know this information? And next you ask yourself, will sharing this information, will it help the situation? Or will it make it worse? Like everybody say, like, back in the days to tell us life is like chess. And I never, before I started playing chess, I didn't understand. And even when I first started playing chess, I didn't really get how much life was like chess. But as I've gotten older in these 4+ decades of living, damn near 5, I've started to realize that chess and life are the exact same thing. In this situation, you got to look at this move. Will it make the situation for everybody involved on your team better? Will it protect those who need protected? Will it help defend those who need defended? Or will it make it worse? Will it put people in danger? Will it put the friendships and bonds in question? These are the things you need to ask yourself before spilling strategically. 1, does this person absolutely need to know? 2, will sharing this information make the situation worse, or will it make it better? Also, am I prepared for the fallout if it gets back to the original source? Are you ready for whatever it has to bring? Come on. Can you say, come on, bring it on? Whatever you got, give it. Are you ready for the fallout if it gets back to not only the original source, but to the person who is in question? Are you ready for the fallout? Meaning the pieces that you thought you had tucked away in this whole perfect scenario wasn't so perfect. The one you confided in when you asked yourself, will it make it better or make it worse? You didn't really get the answer you were supposed to get in that question. Or this person that didn't need to know. They just nosy as hell, and now they got some information they want to hold over people's heads. These are situations you got to think about before you get to spilling the beans strategically. Ask yourself these things. Does it matter whether or not I tell at all? What, it's another question people ask a lot nowadays. What does that do for your life? If you say, what'd you say? You gonna tell your twin she won't tell? I don't know. Janine may tell on you. No, I'm just playing. Janine ain't telling. Janine be the last. Janine, you probably tell before she will. Janine ain't telling nobody. She is a vault, boy. Janine ain't telling the soul. I know that for a fact. Janine's something else. But Janine, you probably tell before Janine will. But that's another thing. Like, who do you tell? You got to be strategic in the spilling of the beans. The person you tell him, will they help the situation out? Because, like, if y'all can say y'all twins, right? Y'all identical, right? Jason and Jeremy, y'all identical. I know they tell each other everything. Everything. But there's other stuff they don't share with us at all. Some stuff they got stuck away in their little twin brain heads of theirs, they ain't told us at all. But like you say, will it help the situation? Like I was asking, will it make the situation worse? If you spilling the beans to somebody to get it off your chest, it's best to spill them strategically to somebody that's not even closely, remotely involved in it. That's what you got to ask yourself. McFadden Amber says, absolutely. If they say no, then it's probably not true or ill-gotten. Well, see, that's another thing. If people can't tell you how they find out, if they didn't say that the person who they talking about told them personally, then they probably got this information the wrong way, or they probably got the wrong information. That's the thing people got to really realize and tap into when we dealing with friend relationships, sibling relationships, dealing with love relationships. Our conversations help develop our character in those relationships, meaning the things that we say, they're taken differently by those people with whom we're speaking to. So now if you're speaking to your crew, they're going to take it differently from you because you confide in the crew. But then they also going to look at you. They may look at you in a way like, well, why are you, can I trust you with my information? Because you just came back and told everybody this person's. So this, again, that's that Libra that we all have to deal with. We got to balance that thing out, right? Like, how do we get to a point where it's sitting even? How do we get where it's 50-50? Okay, I've told a little bit and I've kept a little bit. How do you get it there? Go to confession. Like Kim Wilson Clark said earlier, she going to pray about it. She told somebody, she told the Lord. Now, who the Lord tell her to tell, that's all up between her and the Father. You dig? So you got to look at it in those situations, Here's what I do. I'm going to put it like this. This is what I ain't going to say is guarantee what I would do, but this is one way that I might handle it, If, I sit on the information for a little bit. I ain't even going to lie. I sit on that, tuck it away like, oh, yeah, that's his name. Okay. Oh, that's her name. Word. And I'm going to do my own little research on it. I'm not going to act on it. I'm not going to confront anybody. And definitely I wouldn't spread it around because I'm sitting on it. If I'm really truly sitting on this information, letting myself digest it to the point where let me see what to do with this. Again, if it's not harmful to anybody in any way, shape, form, then I'm really not too pressed on making sure that the information is spread. I'm pretty much a vault when it comes down to having info. That's real spit. I won't tell people where you at, but I'll tell them where you ain't. I'll be like, you ain't with me. That's all I can tell you. That's all I can tell you. You know what I mean? I'm not out about lying. I'm all about making sure the information that come out of my mouth ain't detrimental to nobody that's involved in the questions and concerns. You dig? So, I would sit on this for a little bit, to be honest, instead like just focus on observing, watching, paying attention to how this person moves in the crew. Are they moving shadily? Do they think somebody else knows? Because if they told somebody else, then maybe they told that person hoping they would tell somebody who would tell somebody. They may have been using the person who told you caught in the crossfire as they first domino to get their information out. So be observant. Pay attention to how they move in y'all circle of friends now. That would be my first thing I would do. Again, it's chess. It's not checkers. Checkers, you just pap, 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 pap. King me. I'm the king of the world. Nah. Chess, you got to put the king in the position to where he got to bow out. You know, the king being the information. This information, you need this information to bow out. You got to beat this info. So you playing against the information that you have. It's chess. So now you got to put yourself in the best position to where this isn't harmful to you. Because holding stuff in can become stressful, can make you feel a certain way about certain people. Then you start moving differently, and they respond to how your movements have changed. Now nobody knows the truth about how people receive this information. You know? Because sometimes people reveal their true intentions over time by staying quiet, sitting back, bubbling slow, you keep the upper hand and avoid getting dragged into unnecessary drama. If you're able to sit quietly and bubble up on that information and hold that info down like that, man, listen. Again, like Dakari Kofi said earlier, knowledge is power. It's powerful. It is. You know, so you got to look at it as such. You got to look at that like, yo, man, like I know a lot of stuff. So I got a lot of power. Now, don't be malicious with it. Don't be like, I'm the puppet master. I'm holding this over all of your heads. No, don't be like that. That's not cool. You know, but if all of this weight, you know, if the secret starts to feel unbearable, you know, consider talking to somebody, again, to somebody completely removed. Would you say McFadden Amber, period? Yeah, talk to somebody. If it's getting unbearable for you, talk to somebody that's completely removed from the situation. You know, again, y'all know I'm big on therapy. And if y'all need therapy, holla at hot7025fm.com. Look it up. And we got free therapy on there. Yeah, we do. Yeah, because we need it as a people. But like, I would say talk to a therapist about it if it's really getting that heavy on you, you know, or a trusted confidant. Again, somebody who is completely removed from the situation, who doesn't even know the people involved. That way you can process your feelings without, you know, risking any fallout. We talked about that fallout, being ready for that fallout earlier, right? If you talk to somebody who's completely not involved in the situation, then now the fallout is less likely, right? The fallout is less likely to occur because they have no salt in the game. They have no weight in the game. Like they're not even connected to it. But you are allowed to get that off your chest. What is that? McFadden Amber agrees. She said that's the only way to keep it safe. That's the way you keep your information safe by, you know, again, if you have to get it off your chest, you got to get it off with somebody that's not even involved. You're just speaking gibberish to them. You're really just soundboarding them, basically. There's somebody who you're looking at is like, cool, I can bounce this off of you real quick. And now I know that I said something. I said something out loud. You know? And if that helps you, then God bless. That helps you. If that helps you, you know? So you have to find a way to, if nothing else, find your comfort in this information. Now, again, I gave options. You know, I gave you questions on what to ask yourself before having that second conversation with the person who gave you the information. What's going on, Christian Martina? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got to ask yourself that question again. Ask yourself those questions, right? Why did they tell you, of all people? That's the main question you need to get answered. Like, why did they give me this info? Why they tell me? Do they think I'm a tell, or did they want me to tell? Like, what was the motivation behind them revealing this to me? Once you get that question answered in your head, like, did they genuinely trust me? Or like, you know, are they testing my loyalty? Or do they want me to be the one to take some action about it? What's up, Portia Faces Life? You know, this is things you got to ask yourself before diving into this situation, because apparently if you wrote me a letter, it must be weighing on you heavy enough to say like, hey man, I need some answers. I got questions. I need answers, you know? And so like, if you're looking for the answers, then you'll be able to evaluate what your options are. Find the answers to those questions first. Those are the prelim questions. Those are the ones that's like get to know the situation. Like if you're on a first date, you got certain questions you ask to get to know the person, right? So now you are in a relationship with this information. So now you got to ask the knowledge of this information or the source of the information, a few questions to find out where y'all stand. Would you say, I need support? You are a huge vessel. Yes, you are God's son. God has all the answers for all. Yeah, this is true. And that's the thing. You put it on, you first you bring it to the ultimate council, right? For those who are believers, bring it to the ultimate council. Then you get to asking these questions about this relationship that you have with this information, right? Why did I get it? Is this a test of, am I loyal to this information? Is this a test? Am I the one supposed to take action behind this? And then after that, you figure out what option you're going to take. There are a few, but it's not just limited, but there are a few options. Like you can decide to keep it to yourself, lock it down, don't let any information out from anybody else, right? That's it. That's over. What'd you say? Lord, being back in the singlehood as a widow and his whole new world coming out. And I get that portion. I get that. Portion faces life. That's that Libra in you. I've been talking about the Libra scales, but you a Libra yourself. So you got a lot to balance in your real world. You know what I mean? And like you say, being a widow, that's even something different. So yes, I'm always here for you. I'll let the homie anytime. Send me any letters you want answers on my show. So with this information, are you going to lock it down? Are you going to keep it to yourself? Are you going to confront the source of the information, right? You got to be able to, like I say, burp this gas of info out of your chest. If not, it's going to stress you out. It's going to weigh you down. Like if you drowning, only way to get back to the top is really to breathe. You hold your breath, but the moment you and breathe, you better be kicking your feet fast to get to the surface, depending on how far you've gone down. But the easiest way to get back to the top is breathe. You got to get it out. Get out what's been weighing you down. How you going to do that? You going to confront the source, or you going to spill the beans strategically? You have to find ways in order for this not to harm you. You didn't ask for this information. Somebody volunteered it to you. At least you didn't say you asked for it in your letter right here. You said somebody gave you the information about another one of your friends' true identity. Now, I found out one of my coworkers who I thought was a dude was really born a woman. I didn't tell a soul. And they were like, how long have you known? I said, literally since the first week of work. If this is information like that, it's not harming anyone, it's not hurting anybody, then you can hold on to it, lock it down, hold on. But again, that responsibility is heavy because you're going to continuously have that weighing on you if somebody else finds out about it later and find out that you knew this whole time. They may think you being secretive, but then you let them know, like, hey, I let people business be their business. Because y'all know what I say, nobody knows where the nose goes when the doors close. So I'm not here to tell anybody's information. Again, I'm nosy as hell. But I'm not nosy to tell the business. I'll be nosy so I can know it. I like that. I like holding on to them. I like it. Because again, knowledge is power. And power in seeing how people move is knowledge about how they've been moving in your circle, right? So now you got to ask yourself them questions. Like, does the people that you're going to spill the beans a little bit, do they necessarily have to know? Exactly. It's not our judgment. I tell people all the time, I've never been to law school, so I'm not qualified to slam a gavel and judge anybody. I don't judge anybody, not even myself. I'd be like, damn, I don't even know why I did that, but I did it. I'm not going to judge, So it's like, does the person that you telling absolutely have to know? If you tell this person, will sharing this information help or hurt the situation? Or if it really leaving, it'd be abstain from the situations changing in any way, shape, form. Or are you prepared for the fallout of if somebody else information gets back to the person you sourced you, right? So these are questions you got to ask yourself when evaluating what option you're going to take. Okay. Y'all know me. I'm always over here with some notes. Would you say laughing at yourself is healthy too? Yeah, you got to laugh through it all, because if you're stuck in a situation, think about like, I'm crazy as hell. Why am I? Tell the person in the mirror. That'll help you laugh, help you get it out. Be like, okay, so I just want to tell y'all something. All of y'all, you back there, put a couple mirrors behind you. That way it'd be mirror. So you telling a bunch of people, right? So like laugh at yourself while doing it. Let me tell you, I know this is crazy, blah, blah. Practice. Like how we practice giving speeches, how we practice giving our Easter speech when we were little, How we practice giving them public speeches in class, coming up through high school and college. Practice in the mirror, talking about this. How does it feel rolling off the tongue? How does it feel hearing it back? Put it on yourself, your tape recorder on your phone. Record yourself saying it. How does that sound coming back to you? And these are all before you decide to tell anybody anything. Even before you decide I'm going to tell a little bit strategically, or before I have this second conversation. Do this before you even go back to their people. Mr. and Miss caught in the crossfire. Tell it to yourself first and see how it sounds coming out your mouth. Because the way you wrote this letter to me, it seemed like you want to tell something to somebody. And it's weighing you down, even though you prefaced it by saying, now, I'm not the one to run my mouth about nobody's business. I ain't the one to gossip, so you ain't heard it from me. It's basically what you said right there, right? So my final thoughts on this before I let you go, caught in the crossfire, is that you didn't ask for this. You didn't ask for this, not one bit, right? You didn't ask to be in this position. It's not fair. It feels like you stuck navigating a mess. I get it. But here's the silver lining, right? How you handle this will say a lot about not only about your character, but about how you move with how your integrity is. But just Dakari Kofi said it. That freshman president speech wasn't practiced straight from it was. I took that straight from the dome. You remember that, man? That was 30 years ago, dog. 1995. Golly, yeah, it was. Dakari Kofi talking about ran for freshman class president, and I didn't even have a speech prepared. I just went up there and freestyled some stuff, right? Anyway, so practice anyway, but you got to practice caught in the crossfire. Practice telling it to yourself, right? The silver lining is it says a lot about your character, right? By staying calm and thoughtful and intentional, you protect your reputation and avoid getting caught in someone else's drama, right? So that's where you got to understand. At the end of the day, remember this, it's not just a secret. This is somebody's identity. It's not just a secret. This is not just yours to carry. This is not, not every friend is trustworthy with having this information as they seem, but keep your eyes open on your circle, right? Watch the circle. Make sure your boundaries are even tighter now based off of this information you just got from somebody that's in your inner circle. But again, you have to go back and measure the source. Is this info true? And by watching and listening and not saying a word, you'll get way more information on whether it's true or not, right? Okay, well, that's it for today's episode, y'all. Appreciate y'all, as always, for tuning in and tapping in with Holla at the Homie. To all my online colleagues, McFadden Amber, Christina Martinez Love, Lucy Lowe, Dakari Kofi, Kim Wilson Clark, Kenneth Washington, all y'all that tuned in and tapped in and said, what's up to the homie. Sapphire Gardner, what up, though? To Sadiqa, itty bitty inch mob in this building. I appreciate y'all always. Miss Contreras, always. McFadden Amber, always a follower. And proper follower. I appreciate all y'all for coming on here each and every week. Next week is Christmas, so we ain't gonna be on this thing, y'all. We ain't gonna be on here next week. We are exactly 7 days from Christmas. So next Wednesday, you won't see Holla at the Homie because I'm gonna be celebrating with my fam bam. But again, everybody's out there that's celebrating Christmas. Happy Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa to everybody. Until next time, I breathe on y'all. Take care of yourselves and take care of each other. I've been Holla at the Homie, 360 the Poet. In a minute.
Hi. Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name. DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On Hot 7025fm.com.